Good morning, dear hearts. Lesson 183. I call upon God's name and on my own. The lesson, the first line says, God's name is holy, but no holier than yours. Why would we say that? Why would this lesson be telling us that? Because this lesson wants us to know that indeed our name is the same as God's. We are the same as God's. We've been given the concept periodically throughout the course. It's one of the main things that we need to really take from this course is that ideas leave not their source. And we have been told that we are an idea from within the mind of God. So we have never left that source. This lesson says your Father's name reminds you who you are, even within a world that does not know, and even though you have not remembered it. So this lesson wants us to remember that when we call upon God's name, we are indeed calling on ourself. That's with a big S. I could sum up this lesson perhaps by simply saying, call me by my name. My name is yours, and yours is God. Now, in this world, that would probably be a blasphemous statement to identify ourselves as that, to identify ourselves as God. But this lesson and the course keeps telling us that, we are that extension of God. God is our Father. Even the Lord's Prayer in this world starts by saying, Our Father who art in heaven. So even in that, it's being identified that our Father is in heaven and our Father is God. When we call upon God's name, we are calling on the one name. And this lesson is about only using that one name today. We have already had this idea, and I mention it frequently, about one being the main number, the guiding number within the course, that there is only one mind, there is one life, there is one name now. We've also been told there was one problem and one solution, which are right next to each other, so they're easy to find. So today we're being told one name, God's name. Repeat it, and all the world will respond by laying down their illusions. And the reason that happens is by calling everything by the name of God. We are moving away from the idea of separation. We don't think of separation as simply being that, oh, that's a couch, that's a chair, those are flowers. But what I do when I name every individual thing is I am taking it out of the all that is and giving it its own separate identity. I do that with my brothers when I say, this is George, and this is John, and this is Paul, that I am giving them separate identities. And of course, Ringo. But I'm giving them separate identities. When I use one name for everyone, I am being completely inclusive. That's why I call upon God's name and my own. With God's name upon my lips, I set the world free because I have ceased to break it up into parts and pieces. There can be no separation if I am identifying everything as God. Remember the lesson way back when, that God is in everything I see because God is in my mind? That is it. God is in my mind and we are in His. So I call you by your name. I call upon God's name. I call upon my name, and all of them are the same name. Very easy to remember. Today's practicing is to say God's name, say the name of God as often as possible. We don't have a specific time in the morning or the evening, but just throughout the day, Call upon God's name, repeat God's name, and you acknowledge Him as the sole creator of reality. And when we do that, this lesson says we will experience the gift of grace, because saying God's name puts us into a state of grace. There is nothing else to do. In saying this and doing this, we're also accepting our own part in the salvation of the world. And there will be more lessons about that in the days to come. God's name, just saying God's name, is the perfect prayer. The last paragraph of this lesson is incredibly beautiful, and I want to read it. It says, as we are doing this, saying God's name, all little things are silent. Little sounds are soundless now. The little things of earth have disappeared. The universe consists of nothing but the Son of God who calls upon his Father, and his Father's voice gives answer in his Father's holy name. In this eternal, still relationship in which communication far transcends all words and yet exceeds in depth and height whatever words could possibly convey, is peace eternal. In our Father's name, we would experience this peace today, and in his name it shall be given us. God's name, that's all we need to do today. Repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, and find the profound peace in doing that, and the release of the world for all of the bondage that I have put upon it. So I hope that helped. I hope you like. I hope you please share and please subscribe. Send it to others to subscribe. They don't have to be ACIM students. And please comment. And please be here tomorrow for what is most certainly a continuation of this lesson. Namaste.